So, welcome to Business Connection. I'm Cassius DiGianni. We are interviewing Joe Fuster today. He is the head of CX for Oracle globally. So, Joe, thank you very much for your presence. So, Joe, I would like to start by asking you, what do you see are the big trends for customer experience in the near future?
Great question, because everybody likes to talk about the shiny new object. So I think in present day, a lot of what we're talking about is blockchain, a lot of what we're talking about is IoT, and a lot of it is AI. And how does this apply to CX? That's very trendy. I think the reality of what's close to us is the notion first of data is turning out to be the real core of customer experience. That data for what happens when you talk directly to the customer, what happens when the customer talks to a partner, or what happens when the customer speaks about their experience with you, but does it online. They comment online about your good, your product, your service. And they're commenting to everybody. Those three different types of data, the data you own, the data that you share with your partners, and the data the customer offers out in the public internet, that's really turning out to be the core of CX. At this point in time and for the very near future, it will be about getting that data correct.
Excellent. So you mentioned data and you mentioned artificial intelligence, looking at that data. So how does that differ from what we have seen in the last years? Like, for example, if I go to an e-commerce site, and the site recommends to me, oh, people that bought this also bought that. So what's the difference between what artificial intelligence is going to be able to do now than what it already did before?
Well, we have done predictive analysis and predictive types of things for a very long time. 30 years ago, we were taking a data set, looking for a pattern, and then predicting what to do next. And so we might have had a model that said, if you buy 5, you're 6-1, you get a discount. And we would make a prediction about how frequently you might buy to set up an offer. But we would offer it to everybody. We wouldn't offer it to an individual. We got better at doing prediction by figuring out there's more to the pattern, and could we take a data set and make recommendations closer to real time? And that's been what's been going on for a while. Today it is possible to make a recommendation in the moment, in the milliseconds, to actually look at where you are standing, to contemplate your location, to contemplate your time of day, and then to start to look at all of the other things that we know about you through the behavioral aspects of what you do on the internet. So today the recommendations can be to Cassius, but it could be to Cassius as the private consumer or Cassius the worker, right? Because we have a better way of distinguishing how we're interacting with you in the moment as opposed to just you as an individual.
Okay.
So there's a big change coming. I think you have to step back first and say, from the outside in, from the customer, they're thinking about the interaction type of talking to you. So are they talking to you via mobile? Are they talking to you via an app? Are they talking to you because they've walked into a store, or they're at a branch, or they're at a kiosk? So as the consumer or the customer decides how to interact with you, you must give a lot of thought to how you want that interaction to go. From the other end, for me as the brand owner, I have to be thinking about all the things I know about you. Have you purchased with us before? What is your history? And so we're coming at it from two different points. And I come up from the data to the platform to the app, you're coming in from the interface to the intelligent questions to the app. So the app is where we meet in the middle. And we have to be thinking about designing from the outside in and designing from the bottom up. And that's very different.
Okay, excellent. So would you say it's accurate to say that this artificial intelligence will interact with you more or less like a salesperson would, like being consultative or something like that, and discussing with you your needs, something like that? Do you think that what's gonna happen?
I think that's highly possible. I think when we look at artificial intelligence, we first have to understand human intelligence. And all of us have approximately 5 or 6 different types of intelligence that we interact with, right? We know situational things, we have intuition, we have experience, we have learning, and so there's lots of different ways artificial intelligence could be implemented. I think what we're going to see is a lot of things that are either voice-based, where a chatbot will interact with us in a consultative fashion, but we're also going to see a lot that is actually based at a lower level in the programming of the machine learning, so that the offers that I make are made based on trends in the data, and that's going to be pushed up with machine learning, but the actual interaction with a voice agent is probably going to be more pure AI based. And so it's really coming at this spectrum of intelligence from two different ends. From the data up, where machine learning will reinforce off of patterns what we should do, and with the voice agent or the chatbot listening and responding more in the moment. So is this Cassius the consumer, or is this Cassius the business person? Excellent. Is it early in the day or is it late in the day? Where is Cassius when he's asking us this question? Is he in Sao Paulo, or is he in Mexico City, or is he in Bogota? Because my recommendation about a product or a service may differ based on the time of day, based on the location, based on the weather, and that will be handled by AI. And I think then the idea of what are the right offers to bring to you will be based on data and algorithms at the data level. And where these meet will be at a commerce platform in the middle, at an application in the middle.
Excellent. Speaking of commerce, suppose I am a small or medium business, and I don't have a strong presence in e-commerce, or no presence at all, or I have started and it's still a small operation for me. What would be your recommendation for this company to differentiate itself from the other thousands of e-commerces that are out there?
I think the very first thing for a small business or a medium-sized business to contemplate is what's the interaction they want their customer to have. It's very difficult to differentiate based on price. It's very difficult to differentiate based on a product feature or a service feature, because those can be copied and replicated. So I have to start with the notion of every business saying, what do I want my experience to be? The very first one that people often overlook is this going to be available 24/7? Is this going to run on the internet any minute of the day, overnight, when I don't have employees present? So what do I want to push all the way out that's always available to the customer? It's going to have to be the latest information about availability. It's going to have to be the latest information about pricing. It's going to be the latest things you are doing individually with that consumer, if it's about an order and the status and the shipping. So the first step is to really design from the customer point of view how you want your service to feel different than who you're competing with for the customer. I think the second one then has to be, everything needs to be an app. For better, for worse, if I can't find you in my smartphone or in my tablet in the moment I'm looking for you, it's far too easy to click a button and go to a competitor. So once I think about the experience, then I need to think about the app. The app needs to be as simple as possible, as basic as possible to reach the broadest audience. And then finally, I need to be thinking about this data being, once it is in the app, spread across my company, so that everybody in marketing can see the interaction, that everybody in sales sees the interaction, that everybody in service, maybe everyone at each one of my stores, has a view into the data, so that when you walk through the door again, I'm aware of you. I recognize you, I acknowledge you, and I know what you are doing with us. And so again, it's really designing from the outside in, the availability of the service, the ease of consuming it, and then pushing it to everybody, is what I would think. And if you do this well, I think you differentiate very quickly.
Very quickly, yeah. Okay, Joe, it was great talking to you. Thank you very much. It was great to have you here in Brazil.
Wonderful.
I hope you come back soon.
We'll see you in June.
See you in June. Bye-bye.
Yes.